I have an idea for a sequel to The Craft. I'm not talking about The Craft Legacies. This does not count. It was a flop. I could say some good things about the movie, but I don't want to. I'm talking about The Craft 2. All of the original actresses. Okay, hear me out. I have an idea for a storyline for The Craft sequel, and it would give Nancy Downs a redemption. So at the end of The Craft, Bonnie and Rochelle came to Nancy and were like, hey, do you have any powers? But they got lippy with Sarah. So Sarah popped off and was like, be careful, you don't want to end up like Nancy. Cut to Nancy absolutely losing her mind in a mental facility. Here's where my storyline comes in. After all these years, Sarah feels guilty about what she did to Nancy, because Sarah's a good person. Sarah joins forces with the shop owner, and they form their little coven. Sarah's been practicing magic this whole time, honing her craft. But Bonnie and Rochelle lost their magic, and these two desperately wanted their powers back. So they ended up joining forces with a dark rogue coven. The shop owner knows all about this coven, and her and Sarah have been keeping tabs. That is until the rogue coven decides to invoke the spirit. But this spirit is basically the dark side of Manol. Think of it as a separate entity. So Bonnie and Rochelle invoke the dark spirit, and along with the coven, they plan to siphon Sarah's power. One, because she's a natural witch, and because Bonnie and Rochelle want revenge on Sarah for taking away their power. So, Sarah has to team up with the only witch who is strong enough to help her take down Bonnie, Rochelle, and the coven. She teams up with Nancy. It's been a long time, Nancy has changed, and Sarah helps her invoke the spirit. But Nancy still struggles being drunk on power, while her and Sarah try to take down Bonnie, Rochelle, and the Dark Coven. Sarah struggles with what she did to Nancy, but she knows she did the right thing. In the end, Nancy comes to terms with everything that she's done, and chooses to live alongside Sarah's coven. We could bring back the entire cast. TikTok, please blow this up. I want a sequel.